As the Second World War raged across Europe, the skies over the Third Reich grew increasingly dangerous. Germany, already burdened by relentless bombing campaigns from British and American forces, faced the specter of an even greater threat, the Boeing B-29 Superfortress. This massive, pressurized, and heavily armed long-range bomber, developed by the United States Army Air Forces, represented a significant leap in aerial warfare technology. Capable of flying at altitudes exceeding 30,000 feet and at speeds that rivaled many contemporary fighters, the B-29 could potentially bomb targets deep inside German territory with relative impunity. Though initially designed for operations in the Pacific Theater, the German military planners were not ignorant of its capabilities. The possibility of B-29 raids across Europe sparked a technological scramble within the Luftwaffe's high command. Germany needed a high-altitude interceptor and needed it fast. In response to the threat posed by the B-29, the German aircraft manufacturers were tasked with developing a new breed of high-altitude interceptor. One of the most unique and ambitious of these was the Blohm Voss BV-155. Originally conceived by Messerschmitt, the project started as a carrier-based fighter intended for the German Navy. However, as the war situation evolved and carrier plans were scrapped, the aircraft design was repeatedly reimagined, first as a land-based fighter and then, under the direction of Blohm Voss, as a dedicated B-29 interceptor. Blohm Voss, known for unconventional but innovative designs, took on the Messerschmitt project in 1943 and began redesigning it to meet the Luftwaffe's urgent requirements. The result was a long-winged, sleek, single-engine fighter with a pressurized cockpit and specialized systems tailored for extreme altitudes. The BV-155 featured several distinctive design choices optimized for high-altitude performance. A massive wingspan of nearly 20 meters, providing the necessary lift in the thin upper atmosphere. A powerful Daimler-Benz DB603 engine equipped with a two-stage, two-speed supercharger and a large turbocharger housed beneath the fuselage. A pressurized cockpit allowing the pilot to operate comfortably and effectively at altitudes above 40,000 feet. The plans also called for a single 30mm Mk108 cannon and two 20mm cannons, heavy enough to take down even the armored B-29. These features combined to make the BV-155 one of the few designs in the Luftwaffe arsenal that could potentially reach, engage, and destroy the B-29 bombers operating at their preferred cruising altitudes. Love diving deeper into military history? This video is supported by my YouTube members who get exclusive videos weekly, not available anywhere else for their kind support. You can join their ranks easily. Just hit the join button now to get the exclusive videos and much more. Thank you for supporting me. I couldn't be doing it without your help. If you want to know more about Germany's panzer tactics, check out my ebook in the description. The early prototype combined the Bf-109 wings and fuselage components with new elements, including a large center wing section and 8 underwing radiators. A turbo supercharger was installed behind the cockpit, requiring a lengthened fuselage. The first BV-155V1 first flew on the 8th of February 1945, though early tests were cut short due to overheating. Additional flights followed, and a second prototype joined the tests on the 15th of February. The V2 introduced improved wings, underslung radiators, and a new cockpit canopy. The third prototype was abandoned in favor of the heavily revised BV-155C series, beginning with the V4. This version featured a more powerful engine with a supercharger, reduced wingspan, and landing gear track, and was nearly ready for testing in April of 1945. However, Germany's surrender halted further progress. An order for 30 fighters had been placed, but only prototype V1 to V4 were completed. When the British forces captured Hamburg on the 3rd of May 1945, they found these prototypes. The V1 was lost during a ferry attempt to the UK. The V2 and the partially completed V3 were sent to Farnborough for evaluation, with the V2 later transferred to the US and displayed briefly in 1998 by the National Air and Space Museum, where it remains in storage today. Despite the urgency behind its development, the project was plagued by delays, design changes, and the deteriorating wartime situation in Germany. By the time the first prototype flew in early 1945, the war was already approaching its conclusion. Only a handful of incomplete prototypes were ever built, and the aircraft never saw combat. Ironically, the B-29 never launched missions over Germany. It was deployed almost exclusively in the Pacific, where it became infamous for firebombing raids over Japan and the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Nonetheless, the BV-155 stands as a symbol of the Luftwaffe's high-altitude desperation, a marvel of wartime engineering born out of the fear of a bomber that never came. The BV-155 may not have altered the course of the war, but it offers a glimpse into a chapter of aviation history driven by urgency, innovation, and the high-stakes chess game of air superiority in the jet age's dawn. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to support my channel, check out the PayPal donation link in the description or consider becoming a member. To make sure you don't miss my future work, subscribe to my channel please and press the bell notification button. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.